You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello, I'm Jenny Hutt, and you're watching ABC 10 This Week. The FBI is now offering a reward to find the missing children of Angelica Bravo, the latest in the investigation. And in dollars and cents, the IRS has begun accepting 2025 federal income tax returns, launching a filing season filled with changes that could lead to larger refunds, especially for Californians. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel shows us how a yard became one of Ellensburg's most visited art landmarks. ABC 10 This Week starts now.
Tonight, we're hearing from family and friends of a beloved dance instructor who was hit and killed in a crash at a Folsom light rail station. We first brought you this story as Breaking News Friday.
And today, her father identified her as 22-year-old Eleanor P. Steffi. He says she loved dancing even as a little girl. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias spoke to him and her friends today.
I've tried to make some sort of sense of it and all that kind of good stuff, but it's kind of hard.
Choked up by emotion, James Weems says the tragic death of his daughter, Eleanor P. Steffi, is difficult to comprehend. He says he received the call over the weekend, letting him know the 22-year-old was hit by a driver at a Folsom light rail station on Thursday. She was headed to work as a dance instructor at the Hawkins School of Performing Arts in Folsom. Folsom police say the cause of the crash is under investigation.
Before we release a cause or before we release information about the accident, we want to make sure that we have looked at everything. And unfortunately, in a fatal collision, that means sometimes weeks and weeks, sometimes even months of work, checking every possible angle and gathering all the information that we can get.
Weems says he visited the crash site Sunday night. He's in the construction trade, and he says he had a hard time understanding how the car hit his daughter before ending up on the tracks. But he hopes she didn't suffer.
I'm hoping that she didn't see it coming. Because to try to think about that, that's what I was trying to see last night. You know what I mean? But I couldn't see it.
Delcy Steffi, Eleanor's mother, also sent us a statement saying in part, "We are profoundly grieving the loss of our beloved Eleanor. Her light shined so brightly, and she made an impact on so many. Her loss is devastating."
Friends of Eleanor say they met her here at the Torch Club, where she was known for being a regular on Sunday nights and for her dance moves.
She was just the life of the party everywhere she went. It was kind of impossible to be in a bad mood around her. She was always moving, always singing, always dancing. She was so passionate about dance and the people that she taught and the community that she built around that.
Friends say in order to make sure her legacy lives on, the family is establishing a nonprofit in her name.
Obviously, I think everything's still all in the works. This is all very sudden. But right now we are trying to contribute all community funds to further her legacy, especially in the arts, specifically with dance and children and, you know, kind of furthering the love that she loved to give to everyone.
Weems says his wishes are that his daughter left a lasting impression on the children she was around. And he's hopeful to see what their future will bring.
Even if not in dancing, in character. Because I know they've been touched in a miraculous way. I just don't know how that unfolds.
Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Roxanne, thank you for that update. Police say at this time alcohol does not appear to be a factor in the crash. But meanwhile, the family has an online fundraiser set up. They say it will help dance education, master classes, workshops, and cultural exchange experiences for Sacramento youth.
We start tonight with new details in the killing of a Sacramento mother. Her children are sadly still missing.
Angelica Bravo was killed in 2024. Investigators are now offering a $50,000 reward for the location, arrest, and conviction of their father, Cameron Lee, and the return of the children.
ABC 10's Roxanne Elias is live in the studio after speaking to the grandmother, the FBI, and Sacramento police.
Roxanne, you've been on this story since day one, since we've learned it happened, and I understand you've learned a lot today. Tell us what's new.
I did, Laura. Now, National Missing Persons Day is just a few days away, and in new efforts to find the children, the main focus of today was sharing new information about them that may be able to bring them home to their maternal family.
A new year is bringing renewed hope to the search of 5-year-old Athena and 3-year-old Mateo Lee, who went missing after the death of their mother, Angelica Bravo.
One thing that I think about a lot is I don't want time to just go on and people forget about them. You know, we're definitely going to keep their faces out there and do everything that we can to make sure that they're on the forefront of people's minds.
Dawn Bodea says she misses her grandchildren dearly after suffering the death of her daughter. And for over a year, she's desperately searched for them after Sacramento police found their mother dead inside the home of Cameron Lee back in July of 2024. Lee is now wanted by the FBI for his alleged involvement with the murder of Bravo.
We don't know if the kids are with Cameron, if they're not with Cameron, if they were dropped off somewhere. Our hope is that they're not with Cameron and that we can find them somewhere here in the state.
Anthony Gamble with Sacramento Police says they will not rest until the children are home with their family. And he says a collaboration with the Sacramento FBI expands their resources to a broader level.
There is some information that he may have traveled into Mexico. So certainly that's something that's always been explored. Our reach as far as communication is going into those foreign countries, and we work with our legal attaches in foreign countries across the globe. So any tip from anywhere is valuable and will be pursued.
On Wednesday, Bodea shared new information about her grandchildren's characteristics.
Athena, she's just very bold and outgoing. She has that kind of sassy personality, and she'll definitely let you know if there's something that she doesn't want or does want.
She says both were into dinosaurs and very close to each other.
He also would have a basketball that he would be seen with all the time, like he took it everywhere. So maybe if they see a little kid dribbling a ball, he loved that ball.
The FBI says bringing the children home would at least help give the family a little peace following the death of their daughter.
Please stay diligent, stay vigilant, and you know, keep your eyes out for them. Because I know it only takes one person, and then they could be home.
As far as new information on this case, the FBI and Sacramento police say they have to be very careful on what they release because sharing too much could affect the investigation in a negative way. But they're asking you to share photos of the children and their father and to call in if you have any information. Chris, Laura.
Roxanne, thank you for that update.
Tonight, major developments after a years-long ABC10 investigation.
Tonight, the Twin Rivers Unified School Board District took up a final vote on whether to revoke the charter for Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools.
Yeah, ABC10's Nazi Javid was at the special board meeting and is live now with more on the decision and also what happens next.
Yeah, it was a big decision tonight. The Twin Rivers School Board voted to move forward with the revocation process of Highlands Charter. Now, this decision tonight marks the final step in a months-long review process, and it all follows an ABC10 investigation and state audit into Highlands operations. There was passionate public comment at tonight's meeting, mostly in favor of keeping the school open. Still, the trustees overwhelmingly moved forward with revoking the charter, with some citing financial responsibility to their constituents. It all started when the Twin Rivers Board previously issued a notice of violation that was in June of last year. The charter responded in September. Then a notice of intent to revoke was issued in November after determining multiple issues remained unresolved. A public hearing was then held in December, and tonight that final determination coming in. And I got reaction from Highlands Executive Director, plus a former staff and student on what happened.
It doesn't mean anything, right? So what it means is tomorrow, students, you show up to school. Our teachers are going to be there waiting for you, waiting to support and serve you. Nothing changes for our students and our teachers and our staff, right? The fight is with me and my team and on others. You know, we'll carry on the fight.
My reaction is that they made the right choice. I do not believe that SECO or Highlands has made enough measures to try and turn this ship around.
I look forward in the future optimistically, because we need Highlands. We need institutions like Highlands.
And tonight's vote culminated after an ABC10 investigation prompted a state audit finding the school received more than $180 million in taxpayer funds, money the audit says Highlands was not eligible to collect. The investigation also uncovered uncredentialed teachers, unapproved campuses, and taxpayer money spent on luxury trips and gifts, something former staff and whistleblowers say should have prompted the school to close down. But tonight's vote does not mean that it will. The superintendent and trustees were not available for comment, but the district did say they believe the schools have taken some steps to address compliance issues, but the board determined those efforts are not enough to ensure the long-term stability and success for their students. Now, Highlands can still appeal, and the CEO tells me that they will. He did acknowledge that egregious mistakes were made under previous leadership. He says they have since course corrected, and hundreds of supporters showed up at tonight's meeting. Live in McClellan Park, Nazi Javid, ABC 10.
Yeah, Nazi, a major development this evening, and what an emotional journey this has been for the people involved. Thank you for that update. Again, this follows a years-long ABC 10 investigation. You can watch our entire series about Highlands Charter School, the Wild West of Education, right now on the free ABC 10 app. And tonight's Dollars and Cents. If you're hoping to file your 2025 federal income tax return as soon as possible, the IRS started accepting returns this week. There are a lot of changes this year, so I talked with an Elk Grove-based tax expert to break down what you need to know.
Californians will be happy with that ability to deduct more state taxes.
That's just one of the changes you'll want to keep in mind when you file your 2025 taxes this year. Flaminius Ching, a certified public accountant and tax expert, says you can deduct your state taxes from your federal taxes, but what used to be a $10,000 cap is now raised to $40,000, a significant increase for a high-tax state like California.
Because of all these changes, there are a lot of tax forms that are still in its unapproved state. So even though it's turned on the e-filing, you may still have to wait because the tax forms need to finalize.
Also, new tax law provisions like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on auto loan interests all have specific requirements taxpayers need to meet in order to qualify, including documentation from employers and lenders.
On the no tax on tips, there's a cap of $25,000. Usually an employer will report tips under box 7 of their W-2.
Many Americans could see higher refunds this year. The Treasury Department estimates they'll average $1,000 more per household. The One Big Beautiful Bill boosts the individual standard deduction by $750 and by twice that for married couples. It also gives a new tax break to some seniors.
To help you with the process, the IRS launched their Get Ready website, which includes information on new tax laws and how to file for free. You can see here it has tabs for what's new and what to consider when you file, and resources for making filing easier. There's even a page detailing what you need to know about the One Big Beautiful Bill.
There's going to be understanding and leniency, I think, for this upcoming tax season, understanding this transition. At the end of the day, though, it is the taxpayer's responsibility to understand the rules and to implement them. But I think as long as they do their due diligence and try their best, lack of a better term there, they should be okay.
Experts say filing early can help protect you from scammers who file returns on your behalf and claim your refund. Also keep in mind, starting this year, the IRS in most cases will not be issuing refund checks, so make plans now to receive your refund as a direct deposit. I have deep dives into the One Big Beautiful Bill and what you need to know about the new deductions and other changes to federal and state taxes. You can find those on our free ABC 10 app. Email me your questions at lpainter@abc10.com.
Let's turn to state matters now. Our Jenny He, our political reporter, is covering a story where lawmakers are actually trying to introduce 2 bills that would tackle corporations who work with ICE.
Yeah, she has the latest right now.
Continuing the slew of immigration-related bills introduced just this week are 2 new proposals that would essentially go after corporations that contract with ICE for business.
If you are going to impose this kind of terror on our state and on our people, we are going to tax you for the pain and harm that you're causing.
That's the goal of AB 1633 by Democratic Assemblymember Matt Haney to place a 50% tax on corporate profits from detention operations. That money will be redirected to immigration services like legal representation.
This is how ICE is expanding its attacks on Californians.
The bill targets for-profit private prison companies, CoreCivic, which operates 2 detention centers in California, and Geo Group, which operates 4. MTC, Management and Training Corporation, another private for-profit corporation, also has a facility.
Who operates these centers? Corporate greed. Now that corporate greed goes all the way into the Trump White House.
According to the American Civil Liberties Union of Northern California, these corporations make hundreds of millions annually by contracting with ICE.
The federal government is allowed to enter into these contracts. We are not able to tell them that they cannot do that even within our state.
If they don't want to pay taxes,
you can leave. You can leave our state.
Democratic Assemblymember Alex Lee is working on the No Tax Breaks for ICE Contractors Act, a bill complementary to AB 1633.
Corporations that do business in California can choose. They can either get their tax breaks from California or get their profits from ICE. They get to choose.
Lee says his bill encourages businesses to pivot to different profit avenues.
There are lots of things that they can do legally and more ethically, and we would encourage that.
In response, a representative of CoreCivic, Geo Group, and MTC tells us contractors have partnered with both Democratic and Republican administrations and, quote, contractors do not make arrests, do not decide the length of detention, and play no role in determining the legal status of individuals in their care. Jenny He, ABC 10.
Jenny, thank you. Remember, you can watch the latest developments on the Minneapolis ICE incidents by downloading our free ABC 10 app.
And tonight, a 102-acre lot is still sitting vacant 4 years after the city of Sacramento bought it to develop it for public good. Now, ideas have included affordable housing, a sports complex, and a park. I'm sure you've probably been following this, but still, nothing has been in development. I want to bring in ABC 10's Becca Habegger, who's joining us live in studio. Becca, you actually spoke with the council member who's overseeing this area.
Yeah, Sacramento City Council member Mai Vang tells me some of the delay comes from ensuring the city and the community is getting that input. As we've reported, the city has held multiple listening sessions over the years, and now the city has announced it's requesting so-called expressions of interest from people, companies, and organizations that want to be part of developing the lot.
South Sacramento deserves nothing but the best.
Sacramento City Council member Mai Vang represents District 8, which includes this vacant 102-acre lot in the Meadowview neighborhood.
I want to see more affordable housing, and I also want to see public amenities for our youth and our seniors.
The city bought the lot from the federal government 4 years ago in an excess land auction. It was originally used by the California Highway Patrol as a testing track before the feds bought it in 1978. Over the past 4 years, the city has held community listening sessions, hearing ideas including affordable housing, a sports complex, community gardens, a grocery store, restaurants, and services for the unhoused.
Let's just get it done. Whatever it is, let's just have a plan and go in that direction.
Junior Goris is president of the Delta Shores Community Association, which partially surrounds the lot. He says 4 years is a long time to go without a plan.
It's a little frustrating. I mean, the city made a promise to the residents of our district, and it's time for them to step up. That piece of property is going to be really, really instrumental in the growth of District 8. We definitely need the jobs in the area. We definitely need the economic boost in the area.
Development does take time, but what I will share with you, Becca, is that I'm doing everything I can to move with a sense of urgency. I think for far too long, South Sacramento has been underinvested.
In April 2024, city staff presented to City Council the findings of an opportunities and constraints analysis. That's when council members decided they wanted a mixed-use approach that could include housing and economic catalyst and outdoor space.
This item was actually ready for a vote back in March of 2025, but the mayor, who was new at the time, put a pause on the project because he wanted to understand the development.
Now, the city has put out a call for expressions of interest to better understand market insights, conditions, and trends for the property. The RFEI represents another step in gathering information to help inform the city's next actions.
Expressions of interest, as you were saying, that rolls right off the tongue. AKA, let us know if you're interested.
Yeah, right.
What has the city been seeing so far?
Well, so far more than 40 companies and organizations have gone on the city's bidding website and said, hey, we're interested in being a part of this. They range from Habitat for Humanity of Greater Sacramento to other affordable housing developers to environmental consultants and civil engineers, basically all entities that could possibly be involved in some way in developing these 102 acres.
Now, for people that are interested, I know that the deadline is coming up February 27th, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
And the city will evaluate at that point the proposals. And the city has said, though, the lot could take 6 years to develop once they pick a plan. Yes.
Wow.
Selling the lot, by the way, I should mention, is also on the table. So we'll continue to follow this long-suffering story as it rolls along.
All right, Becca, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Students call her inspiring. Teachers call her supportive. Tonight in our Champions of Hope, ABC10 anchor Alex Bell introduces us to a Roseville High School principal whose leadership is helping shape not just a campus, but also the people inside it.
So we have a greenhouse on our campus.
Principal Ashley Sarin
So this is flag football for elementary school.
is no stranger to social media.
The kids are making fresh squeezed lemonade. Best lemonade I'd ever had in my life.
Amazing our youth are. We have students on this campus.
But behind her social media is something deeper.
Dude, I love our school. I love my job. My kids are amazing.
It's really easy to love your job when you work somewhere that's as fantastic as Roseville High School is.
Do you see them? They're all like avoiding me now.
Being a principal isn't just her job.
What's up, Peter?
It's her calling.
What's really incredible is I came in as a new person. A lot of people that come to Roseville are generational. They've been here, 25 years working at Roseville High.
We found some of those tenured teachers who have been at the school over 25 years.
Principal Sarin has amazing energy. That's the first thing I think most everybody recognizes about her.
Who told us Principal Sarin has made campus a place where staff feel
we really lift each other up. And so having that support from your principal, as if they are a family member and that they really care for you as a human being before the teaching and everything.
Her social media showing what's happening in the hallways of Roseville High School.
And yet I hear this narrative out there that Gen Z is whatever negative thing you want to say. I want them to know that they're supported, and I want other people to understand how amazing this generation is.
Her students have also seen the videos, but we asked what their principal is really like offline.
She's always rocking those bell bottoms, man.
She always
rocking those bell bottoms.
Her hair is like, it's styled, but it's still healthy. Like, it's styled every day, but it still looks
But more than her hair and bell bottoms, these seniors told us.
She's supportive of everybody, no matter who they are, as someone who's so busy and so involved that she truly does make time for her students.
Something that I've learned from her is that as much as this school, like book smart and how learning things in school is important, at the end of the day, who you are as a person, and that's what matters. She's honestly making peacemakers, she's making loving people, and that's way farther than any sort of schooling can take you.
As a former teacher, Principal Sarin says it's important that she never loses that connection with students, even recalling how a few wrote her a letter.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Hold on, I don't want to cry.
Sharing the impact that she's had on them.
And I'm still able to make that positive impact on the people that matter the most is our students here on campus.
Why did that make you emotional?
Because that's why I do what I do. I want to make a difference, and I want to make an impact, and I want to be positive. And so it was almost like look, it's working. Like, you are, so.
Making a difference in someone's life is a gift many of us hope to give one day, just like Principal Sarin.
And I think everything she touches, I am going to get emotional, is helping us thrive. And education is such a challenging profession right now. It has been for years.
What makes you emotional about that?
Because we have such a hard job, and knowing that you have somebody that has your back, these are positive tears because there's just a lot of hard days.
And I appreciate everything she has done for me and my family. I had gone through some health issues, and she was right there. What do you need?
Because she's truly a change maker, and not because of policy, but because of who she is and what she does.
Who's winning? I want to try.
She tries everything, and it inspires students and other people to do that too.
Yes!
Miss Sarens, don't change a thing.
Thank you.
Having a leader like that, like Mrs. Saren, it changes not only how you view school, but who you are as a person. Your personality is genuinely so beautiful, and we can't thank you enough.
Oh, that's so sweet. You can hear the respect and love and admiration in each of those interviews.
Well, when art projects started filling up their house, they moved their projects outside. This is Dick and Jane's spot in Ellensburg, Washington. Just across the street from the police station is one of the most visited and protected art displays in the little central Washington college town of Ellensburg. Who is this guy?
Well, I call him Camera Face or the tourist.
Dick and Jane's place is not your average art gallery, and that's because Jane Orleman and her late husband Dick Elliott did not create your average art gallery.
So they've got quite a group now of old, retired yard art, and then they've created it like a cemetery.
I see.
You know.
It's where old art goes to die.
Exactly.
Dick and Jane met back in art school in the 1970s, each working in different mediums, and each madly in love with each other.
We were totally nuts.
Living on an artist's salary, the two eventually found a place to live and a place to focus their creativity.
Not the worst dump in town. It was the second worst.
That dump was the home at 110 North Pearl Street in Ellensburg, a fixer-upper and a canvas of sorts. The two added a little whimsy here, some oddities there, and a whole lot of reflectors. What was Dick's fascination with reflectors?
Light.
Light. In the 1980s and 1990s, Dick made a name for himself creating art out of safety reflectors, like the kind you find on bikes and road markers. His pieces can be found on the Arizona Sun Dome and in Times Square. While Dick was working with reflectors, Jane was painting. These days, she specializes in giant wall-sized murals. Their art took them many places, and on their travels, they were often gifted art by other artists. People give you this.
They just appear, but we know what to do with it when it gets here.
Dick passed away in 2008, but Jane never stopped adding to their home. And when it's her time to go to the artist's studio in the sky, Jane plans on donating her home to the community. You want to keep the artist's spirit alive here.
Exactly.
From Dick and Jane's spot in Ellensburg, Washington, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 this week. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Jenny He. Take care, and I'll see you next time.